NBA passed draft lottery reform and rules on resting players today. LeBron James missed Cavs practice after rolling his ankle in last night's practice. Kristaps Porzingis of New York left practice with a sore knee. The first two exhibitions of the NBA season are this Saturday. Also, the NHL regular season starts next week. Golf's President's Cup started today in New Jersey. The U.S. is a heavy favorite against the international team, and the Americans on day one are already up 3-1. And Phil Mickelson's team is one up in its match through 16 holes. As for the baseball, well, in progress at Milwaukee, it's now a 3-3 tie. Reds have just scored 2 in the top of the sixth. So bottom of the sixth inning, Brewers tied up 3-3 with Cincinnati. Brewers in the standings 2.5 games behind idle Colorado for the last wild card spot. With TrueCar, you can find out what other people in your area paid for the same car you're looking for, new or used. Visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set,
just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Good evening, Clemson Tiger Nation. Gamecocks, Bulldogs, Yellow Jackets, and Seminoles peeking over the fence at the Hurry Up No Huddle Sports Talk Express. Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, Fox Sports Radio 101.9 at 1050 a.m. over in the Grand Strand, Myrtle Beach, Conway area, welcoming everybody into the program. I know yesterday we technically, emphasis on technically, made our debut over in the Myrtle Beach area and had some hiccups, but I mean, that's expected. I mean, you're broadcasting from one site to another. You get the hitches and the giddy up out, and now you're ready to go. 803-978-1832. I feel like I need to welcome a new audience. I need to explain people about the show. I kind of felt this way yesterday, but I know we do a lot of storytelling here on Clemson Sports Talk. Gamecocks, listen, peek over the fence, be a part of it. This is not just about the Tigers. This is about the rivalry. This is about ACC football. We dive into everything here on Clemson Sports Talk. And I certainly didn't think on Sunday evening after Dabo Swinney's teleconference wrapped up that through this week, heading into the 5th week of the college football season and Clemson's matchup against Virginia Tech, a top 12 matchup in Lane Stadium, 8 p.m. on ABC Saturday night, game day in the house. I definitely didn't think that I would be talking about perhaps the largest story in the history of the modern era of college basketball. I didn't foresee this. I also didn't foresee, and we kind of joked about this yesterday, I did not foresee Rick Pitino's final images being of him wearing a small, schmedium Lamar Jackson jersey on television, but that may be the lasting image. Lowell, the producer, in the building on Twitter. He's at Lowell, Lowellcst. You can follow the show on Twitter at Clemson Sports. And at CST Show is a little more my personal account. Not using it as much, but we'll see how it goes. But again, at Clemson Sports, the easiest way. Our website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com, where you can also watch the show live. And again, if you're traveling around, whether you're in the Midlands or in the Grand Strand PD area and you want to be a part of the program, you know, that's something I got to learn, Lowell. I don't know if people over there call it the PD or the Grand Strand or what. I've never lived over there, so I don't know what they call their area. But I will tell you that no matter where you are, on the iHeart Radio app, Fox Sports Radio 1400, that's on Amazon Echo devices, that's on Google Home devices, and if you're getting ready to walk in the house, perhaps you've been out to the grocery store, doing things that you've got to do after you get off of the job, working for the big boss man. I understand. Maybe you are the big boss man, but you're just getting home, about to be dad, about to be mom, and you want to be able to be a part of this program at another time when it's more convenient for you. We podcast every edition of the show. Every single episode podcasted, up and ready for you. If you have an iPhone, I suggest the Overcast app. If you have an Android device, I suggest Podcast Addict. And we got to get better. We got to be better. Our new website launched last week. We got to be better at getting the shows posted over there. Can I blame Lowell, the producer? I think I can. I think I may. Without further ado, though, he is sitting across from me today in his famous Jameis Crab Shack t-shirt that he claims to have two of. They're both looking a little worn out at this point. You've put some real time in on these two t-shirts of yours, Lowell. But again, welcoming in our new audience, he is none other than Lowell, the producer. Lowell, what's going on, my man?
Bada boom. Realest champs in the room. How you doing?
Man, the real champs are in the room, the Clemson Tigers. And, you know, when you sit back, relax, and think about the fact that you've got a situation where now, you know, Clemson sitting there at the top of college football again. The brand value and recognition as high as it's ever been. Social media and Clemson's social media game just at the top of the mark. Hard to imagine a day where the rug could come out from underneath you unless you look to what's going on in college basketball. Because I guarantee you, the Blue Bloods, the Kentuckys, I bet their knees are knocking. The Dukes, the North Carolinas, the Kansas of the world. The major players in college basketball. You know, for years, Lowell, as a Clemson Tiger graduate and a guy who was North Floor for life, for years, I could not figure out why. And we've talked about this on the show before. You know, I would always say, you know, if I'm Brad Brownell, if I'm Oliver Purnell, if I'm Larry Shyatt, if I'm Rick Barnes, you know what I'm doing? I'm offering every five-star in the country. Come to our school, be a difference maker. How many times did that actually happen? How many times did Clemson have the one and done or the two and done come rolling through? Didn't happen. Maybe I should be thankful for that. But maybe what this tremendous scandal has uncovered and maybe will help happen is that schools who are typically not thought as power brokers in the world of college basketball, maybe now they have a shot. And I also wonder what's going to happen to these recruits and these guys who have not signed yet as the FBI continues to uncover things in this investigation, as the FBI begins to look even more closely, and as guys start to, as you mentioned yesterday, Lowell, when you're facing 80 years in prison and it's there's $20, $30, $50,000 on the line that's gotten you in this point, and you're looking at hard times in the Hooskow, and I'm talking about dusty roads, hard times. You're thinking about that? Or you just go in there and tweet, tweet, tweet. This is where it came from. Tweet, tweet. This guy told me. Tweet. Yeah, people are talking. Heads are rolling. People are resigning. People are being fired. So much so I can't keep up with it. It feels like I wasn't around for the stock market crash. But it feels like that's what I'm dealing with right now. It's like whatever air was in the college basketball balloon or ball or whatever you want to put the air into, it's out now. It's out. Can schools like Clemson begin competing because of this? Will schools, like the major players in the sport, be punished to the point of changing the landscape? I don't know, and I don't know that we know enough about it right now. Again, I think anybody that thinks college sports is anybody that knows anything about college sports, I think could certainly recognize the fact that, you know, we are dealing with a situation where there is a lot of money, there is a lot of influence, and there are a lot of players who get to the big money in a hurry. That's probably the biggest difference in basketball and football. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I continue to stand by it. By the way, Clemson Tom coming up at 6:20. Tommy Bowden coming up at 7 o'clock. Of course, the former Clemson Tiger head coach will be joining us. And we do have some new articles up on our website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com, including one from Cleveland Farrell. Sometimes it's hard to say no. I accidentally marked it as premium. It's not premium. I unpremiumed that one for you. Again, we will have premium content coming soon on our website. Again, right now for the first month, $49 for the year. You can go post for free. It's a free form. No worries about that. We'd love to have your support. Think of it like this, $4.16 a day. Excuse me. Did I say $4.16 a day? I meant $4.16 a month, essentially, to be a part of what we're doing, including this radio show. 803-978-1832 is the number. 803-978-1832. You can also text us thanks to our friends at the Ocean Reef Resort. The text line is 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086. And Lowell, I know you've had a chance today. You were doing some work on the website, keeping everything updated on our Amazon Echo and Google devices, etc. But you've had a chance to see this, and one of the big takeaways, that you had, and I know that technically speaking, it appears things with Rick Pitino are worse than maybe some people even thought previously. But for a guy who claims to know nothing, he sure is heavily invested in a lot of bad stuff going on at his basketball program, or his former basketball program.
Yeah, isn't it funny when Rick Pitino says, well, I don't know anything, and the FBI comes back with, well, see, we have these tapes here.
Right. That's, with radio, a lot of times, because I think we do so much radio, 10 hours a week, you're talking about basically 50 weeks a year. What's that, 500 hours of sports talk radio that I do a year? The listener might not catch every show, but they'll remember one little thing I said. And they'll go, Swanee, you remember when you said Duke was going to upset Georgia Tech and you were wrong? And I'm constantly like, I really don't. It's kind of like that. There's a tape. We can rewind the podcast, Swanee, and hear you say it. You remember when you picked Clemson to go undefeated last year and they didn't quite do it, but they still won the national title? Yeah, I remember that. That was a big one. It's the little ones that sometimes slip by me. These are big things. Rick Pitino might not know what he had for breakfast 3 Wednesdays ago, but he certainly knows when he's wielded a sword to say, can we get $100K to my boy over here to come join us and play basketball at Louisville?
Well, and reading that article, and I actually sent you some of the quotes from the article on ESPN, where it was basically like this Adidas employee said, Rick Pitino is the big dog at Adidas. If he calls and says something, Adidas gets it done.
Right.
The first thing I thought was, Rick Pitino might actually literally be a mobster. This is like the way this has gone down. It's like all the mob white collar crimes. It's like money under the table and getting in bed with big corporations to wield influence and
move money under the table.
Money laundering and.
Yeah, if this was a Sopranos episode, you're like, oh man, where are they going to hide the bodies? That's what
that's the only thing that's missing right now. My first thought was he's literally in the mob. That's how this seems.
The basketball mob. There it is. Lowell, the producer. 803-978-1832. I know.
And sorry, I just wanted to say real quick.
Yeah.
Now that he is directly involved, this gets a lot worse for Louisville as a program overall. Because if it was a rogue assistant, you can pin it on a rogue assistant. If it's the man in charge,
right.
Well, now it's your whole program.
Well, let me ask you this. Where do the men who are in charge come from? Like, where do they begin? Assistant coaches.
As assistants, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that this type of influence has been on college basketball since the 1960s, but you've got to believe that when you're talking about coaches and their pedigrees and how these guys move up and how the game is influenced, it also makes you recognize pretty quickly why there is such a small group of individuals. Is it any Is there any shock that Rick Pitino's son is a basketball head coach? No. Why? Because of the relationships that they have cultivated, whether they are good relationships, bad relationships, influential relationships. I mean, you can go on and on into how that has affected the guys who move up and who moves up quickly in those connections. Now, the other thing about this is I don't believe that this is going to be nearly as widespread as people think. And let me tell you why I don't think it's going to be as widespread as people think. Because when you're doing something to the degree that this is being done, you only want a handful of people involved. You can't afford to have 80 guys out there doing work. It's got to be a limited number of individuals targeting a specific group of players with coaches on coaching staffs that have successfully influenced players in the past to join a shoe brand. If it comes out that there were 80 college basketball programs involved and there were 25 guys who were connecting players and coaches and families and AAU programs, I'll be shocked. I will not be shocked if it turns out that the UCLAs, the Kansas, the Kentuckys, the Michigan States.
Well, we can talk about Kansas a little bit if you'd like to.
Well,
with some rumors that have just come out.
Sure. I like rumors and innuendo.
Allegedly.
No, I actually like rumors and innuendo, but allegedly these things you're about to tell us happen.
Right. One of the Adidas officials, or whatever you want to call them.
Suits?
Who?
Can I call him a suit?
Yes, sure, you can call him a suit. He was responsible for steering that top Louisville recruit to Louisville. Was also apparently, allegedly, trying to steer Zion Williamson to Kansas, who is also a big Adidas school.
Zion Williamson, of course, the number one player in the country. Of course, we had an article up this past weekend focusing on Zion Williamson, ClemsonSportsTalk.com, and the fact that Clemson may be a big player in his prospects with Kentucky.
And I think it speaks to Zion Williamson that Kansas is not in his final choice of schools.
Is there a possibility that there are still good kids out there? Is there a possibility that there are players out there who say, thanks, but no thanks, I'm not interested in your money. I'm interested in playing where I want to play and doing what I want to do and being happy with where I'm doing it. We kind of joked yesterday, if Clemson's cheating right now, Brad Burnell, listen, cheat better. We need to be more successful if we're doing this stuff. Because I hadn't seen a whole lot of five-star freak show one-and-dones rolling through Tigertown. There's a lot of them over there on the football field, believe me. There's a lot of them. I think Big Dexter could have been a one-and-done.
Sammy Watkins could have been a one-and-done.
I would agree with that statement. That's a great poll question for Twitter. I think I'm going to put it out there tonight. Could Dexter Lawrence have been a one-and-done in college football? Because it's not legal. It can't be done. Maurice Clarett challenged it many years ago in a move that turned out terrible for Clarett, and it didn't change anything in terms of players' opportunities to go out and make money. I do think, again, that the one-and-done situation is a part of the problem with college basketball. If players had the right to just go pro right out of high school, the really great ones would go ahead and do that. I know there would be some that would get burned, like my good friend Taj McDavid. Many people may not know Taj by his actual name. I know him as Red. He's been a dear friend of mine. He's out of the Anderson area. He had an uncle who basically influenced him to believe that he could turn pro right out of high school. And he gave up on all his dreams of playing collegiately and ended up, basically just working a 9-to-5, doing his thing. Never had that chance to go get his education. Never had his chance to do the things that I know he would have wanted to do. When we come back here on the show that shakes the South Lane, Clemson Sports Talk, Clemson Tom joins us. We'll get his thoughts on the scandal, and we'll look ahead towards Clemson's matchup against Virginia Tech coming up this weekend in Blacksburg. Lane Stadium, it'll be the place under the lights. A maroon out. Hello, Tigers business suits. We'll be right back.
sold-out 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
2 nights,
One stage.
over 20 of the biggest artists on the planet.
Celebrated with iHeartRadio fans from around the world for music's holy grail. Our sold-out 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Coldplay, Pink, DJ Khaled, Thomas Rhett, The Weeknd,
And more.
Catch our iHeartRadio Music Festival TV special Wednesday and Thursday night, October 4th and 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on the CW.
Do you want a pharmacy that treats you like a person and not just a number? Then let Craig and Lori at Southlake Drug show you what a pharmacy should be. Fast, friendly, and professional. Southlake Drug can transfer your prescriptions and take the hassle out of getting your medicine and getting you on your way. Southlake Drug takes all major insurance programs, including Medicare, Medicaid, and state employees, and they provide immunization services, including flu shots with no wait and no appointment. Southlake Drug, 1856 Southlake Drive in the Food Line Shopping Center, 399-7701, or southlakedrug.com.
At OPEX Columbia, we aim to inspire, empower, and challenge individuals to reach their highest potential. We take this mission very seriously and sincerely desire to help people achieve the goals they set out for themselves. OPEX Columbia is where you will excel no matter what your goal, whether that be health and wellness, body composition, or being a competitive athlete. We are conveniently located downtown across from the South Carolina Baseball Stadium. Contact us at opexcolumbia.com and mention this ad to receive 10% off your 3-part assessment.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." I was like, "What makes you say that, son?" He said, "When I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
Get to Nissan of Orangeburg, where this month's featured unbeatable deals include $99 a month on a new 2017 Nissan Versa, or how about $3,000 off MSRP on a 2017 Nissan Sentra. Plus, Nissan of Orangeburg will honor any competitor's mailers. Don't miss these unbeatable deals. Plus, Nissan of Orangeburg will pay your sales tax and honor competitors' mailers. See dealer for details. Nissan of Orangeburg, exit 145A off I-26, or online at NissanOrangeburg.com.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk, your iHeartRadio home for the 2016 college football national champion, Clemson Tigers.
Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio, the iHeart Radio app. It's so simple in the Midlands. Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Myrtle Beach area. Fox Sports Radio 1019 and 1050 AM. Good to be on over there for the Clemson Tigers, Gamecocks, Yellow Jackets, Bulldogs, and Seminoles peeking over the fence. Clemson Tom, this is a guy that people have peeked over the fence at from time to time. Even his cousin Carolina Clint occasionally puts out a YouTube video, which can get a little crazy. Tom, what's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Tomorrow's Friday, so I'm doing pretty good today.
Man, I hear you. Let me ask you this. I did not think that we'd be sitting in the midst of a scandal to the proportion of what we're sitting in front of right now in terms of college basketball. And I know it's college football season. I know where the bread is buttered in the South, but for crying out loud, man, what in the world are we looking at? How big is this thing going to get?
Man. I think it's going to be a lot bigger than what you're seeing. Just from kind of the reports I saw coming out, things I've been reading, it goes pretty deep. I know the Gamecocks are starting to get looked at by the FBI. If the FBI starts looking at you, like, that's serious. Like, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah,
I'm at the point where I don't even want to crack a joke, just because this looks like it's going to be a 30 for 30 part 5 episode. Like, these things are going pretty deep.
Yeah, and again, I don't know all the ins and the outs of what's going to happen, but I know Lamont Evans, former South Carolina assistant, was here in Columbia when they recruited some of their big players, and we'll see where that goes. If you're Coach K right now, you know, we talk about, and it's different when we talk Penn State and Joe Paterno and protecting Jerry Sandusky and the kids that were involved in that. I completely get it. This is not, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, not on the same level as what we're seeing. This is money paid to families and kids, which I don't like. But, again, it's not as heinous, in my opinion, as what was going on at Penn State. But
definitely not.
But in terms of the how these coaches are viewed and the perception of Coach K, if it were to come out that this has been going on the entire time he's been at Duke with a run like this, I mean, what would that mean for a legacy like Coach K's had, which has been virtually unblemished in a lot of respects?
Yeah, he's Coach K is iconic. If that it would definitely tarnish his career. Not as bad as Joe Pa, but no matter what Duke fan could brag about, it would always come back, well, Coach K cheated.
Right.
Coach K was doing this. And it would always be like an asterisk.
Sure.
Kind of like a Barry Bonds. Very, very similar to like a Barry Bonds. Oh, he hit the most home runs, but yeah, he was 42 years old. He was still growing. Obviously, he was on steroids.
His head was the size of a watermelon.
Yeah. I remember when everything was happening, I didn't believe it. I was like, nah, man, Barry Bonds has been great forever. And some article came out and it was like, well, Barry Bonds is 38 years old and he's growing like he's still like 22 years old. So it would be an asterisk very similar to a Barry Bonds.
Clemson Tom on Twitter is at Clemson Tom. He joins us each and every Thursday evening at 6:20. The Tigers will turn their attention towards Virginia Tech. Last weekend, though, I wouldn't say Clemson was looking ahead. I don't think Boston College was a trap game, but it didn't look like Clemson just was quite right in that one. Do you excuse Clemson for maybe having a little bit of a down week, Tom?
Yeah, because, you'll have those. Even all week prior, Dabo and the coaches were like, it's going to be a fight. It's going to, we're going to get punched in the nose and all this other stuff. So I was like, whatever, it's Boston College coach speak. But yeah, it was a while until we just kind of opened up the playbook, and this number 9 kid that we got that can run the ball. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Etienne just eat it up.
Etienne. Etienne.
Is it Etienne?
No, it's Etienne. You told me last week you were going to call him Etienne, and I had already planned to correct you, and then you didn't do it wrong, and then Etienne.
So it's Etienne.
Yeah.
So it's E-T-N.
Kind of like an ATM. Takes it to the house. Big money.
Oh, nice. Automatic touchdown machine, ATM.
All right, Tom. Listen, man, this weekend as well, Clelin Ferrell, a native of the Commonwealth of Virginia, returns home to his home state. And I know we've got a story up right now on ClemsonSportsTalk.com about his recruitment there and what happened when he told the coaches that he was going to come to Clemson. He said an unnamed coach kind of cussed him out. And I know you were an athlete in your day. Just thinking about that, what kind of motivation would that give a guy? He says, it's kind of water under the bridge. I don't want to give away the whole story, but do you think we'll see big number 99 coming with his lunch pail ready to eat?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I almost fear for the quarterback for Virginia Tech. He's gonna come with it because as a young man, to be treated like that just because you decide a certain path is better for you, and to have a coach cuss you out like that, wow, yeah, he's probably had this one circled for a while. She's gonna show up, he's gonna show out, and I wouldn't be surprised if after a big hit he points at the sideline of Virginia Tech and just kind of waves or does something. So.
You go back to that ACC championship game last year, it kind of felt like Clemson was going to pull away from Virginia Tech, but a late game comeback. They've got a talented wideout in Cam Phillips. He's really the returning star for this team offensively, but Clemson's secondary has looked pretty good this season thus far, and with that big front four, man, they put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. You think a guy like Josh Jackson, who's yet to really be tested, and Cam Phillips can do enough offensively in this game for Virginia Tech to try to keep up the way they were able to keep up last year with Gerard Evans there, that final score 42-35 in the ACC title game. Can they keep up with Clemson if the offense is rolling?
I think they can. They have everything playing to their advantage. Home field advantage being one. It's a night game. You've got, in my opinion, probably the loudest stadium we're going to play at all year. I thought Louisville was going to be pretty loud, so I went there, and it was basically a library. This is going to be a true test for an away game for Kelly. Can he get the audibles going off? It's a completely different environment for him. So yeah, they got a lot of factors going in their way for the advantage side. But Dabo's Dabo, and they're going to coach the guys the right way. So we'll see what it goes. But yeah, they could easily keep this game close. I actually predict it to be very close. Come down to the fourth quarter.
Clemson Tom here on Clemson Sports Talk. All right, Tom, one final question for you. If you're going out and it's going to be your last major public appearance, are you going in a schmedium Lamar Jackson jersey like Coach Pitino, or do you have something else you'd go with?
No, I'm not wearing that extra medium jersey that he was rocking with his Yeezys. I don't know what the heck that guy was wearing. He should have just dressed the part. I don't know. I understand he was, trying to do his thing for game day, but good Lord, could they not find him a bigger jersey? Could they give him a lineman?
Yeah.
I mean, right now we could go online and get a Lamar Jackson jersey that actually fits you. It looked like it was his daughter's jersey, honestly. But yeah, if you're going to go out, that's going to be the last public jersey or public image people are going to have of him is wearing that jersey.
Better biceps, Lowell the producer or Rick Pitino?
I got to go with Lowell, man.
Okay,
Pitino.
Fair.
Pitino's got that mafia thing going. Like he doesn't. he's got the real guns. He doesn't have the armed guns. Like, I feel like Pitino can make a phone call and they'd be like, have somebody whacked.
Oh, goodness.
Like somebody right now is in trouble.
I'm so glad you said that, by the way, because I said that earlier.
You guys.
Yeah, Pitino's like on Goodfellas. He's like, for some reason, I feel like he's sitting around. He's like, hey, Paulie, who called the FBI? We got girls coming over for the recruits. Money's exchanging. I want the guy from Adidas. I want him dead tonight. And he's like making calls. He's going to be wearing cement shoes. Like, you can just see that happening. Like, it's funny. It's funny because you're like, yeah, they probably didn't make that phone call. You're thinking about it to yourself.
Tom, buddy, hey, man, we look forward to having you on next week. Be good.
All right, brother.
There he is. Clemson Tom. When we come back, we turn our attention towards the Virginia Tech Hokies here on the show that shakes the Southland.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
Tonight, the skies will stay clear and the temperatures will eventually drop down to around 70. Now, tomorrow, it will be sunny but cooler. The afternoon highs right around the mid-80s. For Channel 25 ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer.
The Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer is the top choice of doctors, nurses, and other health professionals nationwide. It can be yours too. Now at your local Club Warehouse and other fine retailers today.
Exergen is caring for your family.
iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. And now, with football season in full swing, let's be honest, most of your week is focused on your fantasy team or teams. No reason to leave the iHeartRadio app, because now we have the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. 24/7 interactive fantasy talk and advice so you can dominate your league. Get your fantasy football fix right on the app. Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
iHeartRadio.
Follow Clemson Sports Talk on Twitter at Clemson Sports. Now more of Clemson Sports Talk. Take it away, Dad.
Myrtle Beach days. We'll have some fun in the waves. I don't care what the West Coast says, 'cause I love those Myrtle Beach days.
Well, we're still new to the Myrtle Beach area, but I do feel a little like this is the Myrtle Beach days for us. It kind of, during the summer we play those beach music hits here on the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk on Twitter at Clemson Sports, and of course making our debut this week over in Myrtle Beach. We want to make sure that we're keeping with the feel of the area. Lowell, you got your sunscreen on today? Just want to make sure you're good to go. Andy Bitter joins us here on Clemson Sports Talk tonight. One of the great things about this program is as we move towards the weekend and as we get a little bit closer to all the major games in the country, we do turn our attention towards Clemson's upcoming opponent. Andy Bitter VT on Twitter is where you can find him. He covers Virginia Tech for the Roanoke Times. Andy, what's going on, my man? How are you?
I'm pretty good. Excited for a big game this week.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I don't know that these two teams thought last season when they squared off in the ACC championship game in Orlando that when they got back together, not that it would necessarily determine the outcome of the Atlantic Coast Conference like this last game did, but that it would be a matchup of two top 12 teams in the country.
Yeah, probably not. I think you could have maybe extrapolated and seen Clemson's success coming this year. I know they lost to Deshaun Watson, but they were still pretty loaded across the board. Other than that, I think Virginia Tech's maybe a little bit more of a surprise right now, especially considering they lost a lot of seniors from last year. Gerard Evans goes pro, doesn't get drafted at quarterback. Isaiah Ford, Bucky Hodges both go pro early. I think the thought was that it was going to take Virginia Tech a while to get going, but they have looked better on offense than I thought they have so far. And honestly, I think they've got a chance in this game coming up. I mean, it's probably Clemson favored as they should be, but I think Virginia Tech has a puncher's chance here.
Well, you know, in Virginia Tech having that game at home, having it at night at Lane Stadium, and, of course, Clemson did go on the road to Louisville, but that crowd at Louisville is not, and it was not, I think maybe partially because of Clemson's offensive explosion against Louisville. They kind of took them out of the game. Clemson's got to do that in this one, but Virginia Tech's crowd is still even more so, just a little bit different. It's a different breed up there in the Commonwealth. Uh-oh. I think we lost him. We lost Andy Bitter. Andy, don't be bitter with us that we lost you. Now, I'm putting that on Lowell. I put all problems here on Lowell. 803-978-1832 for the fans that want to be a part of the program. Lowell, the producer. This is why my dad always texts me and says, well, tell him to produce. That's what we're telling him to do, Dad. We're on him. I'm sure my dad's listening somewhere, probably laughing right now that Lowell's under the gun. Virginia Tech, though, coming into this game with 4 victories under their belt. They're 4-0. This would be their first conference game. Of course, the opener of the season, taking on West Virginia, that 31-24 victory for the Hokies was a tremendous matchup and victory for them. But since that time, they've taken on Delaware, East Carolina, and Old Dominion. I believe we have Andy back on with us here. And, Andy, I'll be honest, I was talking about the Virginia Tech crowd. It is different than that Louisville crowd. It's a different breed of college football fan in Blacksburg for sure.
Yeah, I'd say so. And I'd add to that, they've been waiting for a game like this for a while. The last time 2 top 12 teams played, where one was in the top 5 in Lane Stadium, was 2007. Matt Ryan was at Boston College on the Thursday night game, came back in the last 2 minutes to win the game 14-10. So it's been 10 years since they've had a game where 2 teams are ranked this high and this sort of importance of the game. You know, Ohio State opener when Ohio State was number 1 a couple of years ago, that was a pretty electric atmosphere, but the life sort of got sucked out of the stadium when Michael Brewer went down with an injury earlier in the third quarter. So I think this will be a pretty amped up crowd for this. They've been waiting for this a while in Blacksburg.
In terms of the Virginia Tech offense this year with Justin Fuente, with Josh Jackson there at quarterback, how is this offense? Okay, so I watched the West Virginia game like I think most of America did. But then outside of that, you know, when you move a little further up the schedule, the competition hasn't been what Clemson will be. Do you think the success that Josh Jackson has had is about the competition, or do you really believe he's, you know, as good as advertised right now?
I'm leaning towards he's probably pretty good. Maybe not as good as 11 touchdowns to 1 interception. He currently leads the ACC in passing efficiency. That might be a little bit inflated by the competition that he's played. But I think the sort of praise that he gets is that a lot of people say he plays like a junior and he's a redshirt freshman. He just sort of has that composure about him. He's pretty smart with where he goes with the ball, doesn't put the ball in danger too much in terms of turnovers or anything like that. He's the son of a coach. Fred Jackson was the longtime Michigan running backs coach. So he's been around football for a while. So I think he's pretty advanced for his age. Obviously, he has not played a defense the caliber of Clemson and probably won't again all season. So I think that's where I'm curious to see how he handles somebody that good on the other side of the ball. But I just don't get the sense that he's going to go out there and just, be overwhelmed like you would expect a freshman to in this situation. I think he handles himself pretty well.
On Twitter, he's at Andy Bitter VT, covering Virginia Tech for the Roanoke Times. I love the matchup between Bud Foster and Brent Venables. For years, when Clemson had defensive struggles, people go get Bud Foster. Let's bring Bud Foster down. This matchup between these two guys, if you're talking about coaches on paper, two of the best in the game, no doubt.
Yeah, and I almost look at Venables as sort of a younger version of Bud Foster. Like, he's sort of the crazy man on the sideline. I think Bud has maybe mellowed a little bit. He was joking this week that his knee kind of bothers him, so he doesn't get as animated on the sideline. But he's an intense guy, and I think Venables is from that sort of cut from the same cloth there. Obviously both Broyles Award winners in their history, 10 years apart there. I think if you polled a lot of offensive-minded guys around the country who two of the better defensive coordinators are, or guys they face that they don't necessarily want to face, I think Bud and Brent come up in that conversation. So they're both sort of an attacking style defense. They're not going to sit back and let you dictate what's going to happen. They're going to go after you and force your hand in a lot of ways, and that's sort of what you have to do in this modern offense era of football. You can't just sit back because offenses will pick you apart. So it's kind of an interesting comparison between the two teams because I do think they play similar styles of football.
Andy, from the outside looking at Clemson offensively, what is the biggest issue you think Virginia Tech will face from Clemson's offense?
I think it's the running game. I think you look at how Clemson has had success this year. Probably Kelly Bryant Moore as a runner has been more effective than a passer. Historically, at least recently, Virginia Tech has had trouble with mobile quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson had a pretty good running game and passing game, obviously, in last year's ACC title game. But he made some plays with his legs that really hurt the Hokies in that game. They sort of have a streak of whenever an opposing quarterback hits 100 yards, I think they've lost like 10 or 11 straight, something like that. So that's probably a big concern, I think, if you're a Hokies fan looking at this, because Bryant 260 yards, something like that, 7 touchdowns on the ground, though. I think that opens their eyes that how capable this sort of ground game is. And then you had the freshman Travis Etienne, I think is how you pronounce it, into the equation too. That's a real concern to try to stop those guys on the ground.
Yeah, they finally corrected us all. ETN, like the 3 letters. So now you got it. Now
ETN.
Okay. Yeah. Andy Bitter. Andy, man, listen, we've enjoyed having you on this year. Best of luck to Virginia Tech this weekend, and I know it'll be an epic matchup in Lane Stadium. Follow Andy on Twitter at Andy Bitter VT. Andy, we'll talk to you again soon. Maybe ahead of an ACC championship. How about that?
Yeah, this might be a preview to that.
There we go. Andy Bitter here on the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk again. He writes for the Roanoke Times covering Virginia Tech. You know what I love about Andy? We get a lot of great guests on here who are writers. And some of them write much better than they talk. Andy, I don't know if you have a radio show in Virginia, but, buddy, you probably need one. I don't know who's doing work on the radios up there on the FM and the AM dial, maybe on iHeart Radio like us here in the Midlands. But I'll tell you, and also over in the Myrtle Beach, Conway area, you, sir, could do it. When we get back here on Clemson Sports Talk, I know we've got former Clemson Tiger head coach Tommy Bowden coming up in hour number 2. But when we return, I'm going to tell you about the SeatGeek app. I know you guys got the Clemson Sports Talk app. I talk about the iHeart Radio app. I'm going to tell you about the SeatGeek app when we get back, and we're going to dive into more topics ahead of Clemson's matchup against Virginia Tech. Stay with us.
Our sold-out 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival. 2 nights, 1 stage, over 20 of the biggest artists on the planet. Celebrated with iHeartRadio fans from around the world for music's holy grail. Our sold-out 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Coldplay, Pink, DJ Khaled, Thomas Rhett, The Weeknd, and more. Catch our iHeartRadio Music Festival TV special Wednesday and Thursday night, October 4th and 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on the CW.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman-Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat and Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meeting Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Swim in their sparkling indoor and outdoor pools, relax in their hot tubs, try out the Adventure Oasis pool with adult-sized water slide, or just float down the 250-foot lazy river. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
ColumbiaHelpWanted.com salutes the Employee of the Month, the one employee you can't live without. The others, let's just call them Dave.
Hey, Dave, you missed yesterday's meeting. You said you'd be there.
True, Mr. Employee of the Month, but yesterday was opposite day, so when I said I was going, I actually meant I wasn't.
Wait, opposite day? So everything you said yesterday had the opposite meaning?
Right.
So, wait, when you told me you didn't have pink eye...
I actually have a raging case of it.
And when you said you finished the Q3 reports...
Haven't even started them.
Oh, well then, that must mean that when you were asking for a raise, you were really asking for a pay cut.
Touche, Mr. Employee of the Month. Touche.
If you don't mind hiring Daves, go to the National Job Boards. They may be free, but trust us, they'll cost you. But if you want Employees of the Month, go where smart local job seekers find good local jobs. ColumbiaHelpWanted.com. Local jobs that work.
We don't discriminate against people named Dave. Dave is a common name, fun to say, and so we're using it as a catch-all for lackluster employees everywhere. Please don't write us to tell us you were insulted by this ad. That would be a real Dave move, Dave.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules. Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk, your iHeart Radio home for the Clemson Tigers, winners of the 2017 National Championship game.
Man, let me tell you, Ocean Boulevard, they're hearing us right now. Myrtle Beach, Conway, Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio, 101.9, 1050 AM in the Midlands, Fox Sports Radio 1400. If you want to listen, go to ClemsonSportsTalk.com. There's a live button up at the top. Love that. Appreciate Andy Bitter for joining us. Clemson Tom coming up, Tommy Bowden. That interview with Tommy Bowden, we'll have news and notes out of it over on our website. A great article up right now about Clelin Ferrell. Ferrell, of course, played at Benedictine. What was the full name of his high school, Lowell? Was it Benedictine Christian Academy something? It was
Benedictine College Prep.
It was pretty significant.
It was a Roman Catholic military school, which sounds really like strict and hardcore.
Seems legit. 803 978-1832 if you want to be a part of the program. Clemson released their injury report just a little bit ago. If you want it, it's up on ClemsonSportsTalk.com right now, thanks to the trusty producer across from me. Quick rundown of it, though, just heads up. Out for the season, Richard Yergin, you know that, the neck injury from a car accident. Logan Rudolph, you learned that last week because of a shoulder injury and shoulder surgery, which is very tough for me to say. Cole Renfro, not Hunter, Cole Renfro, out for the season with a knee injury, non-football related. And then Greg the Leg Hugel with a knee injury in practice last week, out for the year. Out for this game, Garrett Williams, tight end with a knee. Tucker Israel, quarterback, still out with this mystery illness. I believe it's a stomach, something he's got going on. DJ Greenlee, tight end, out with a knee injury. And Marcus Edmond, cornerback, out with a foot injury. Trayvon Mullen is probable. He's been in the concussion protocol this week. And Marcus Fields is also probable. with a glute injury. A little glute. I love when Dabo's on this teleconference breaking that down, and the audio of the teleconference from Sunday will always be on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. And Dabo's like, yeah, he just had a little pull in his glute region. Like, I'm not even sure where that is. I mean, I know where it is, but I'm not sure where the pull is. It's in the glute region, Lowell. Somewhere in the glute area. Speaking of guys who are probable to make a phone call to this show, he is Double O. Overton's Orange. Double O, what's going on, man?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Lawton, like I said yesterday, I talked to a guy from Virginia. I was trying to get my homework done on that game.
Sure.
And he said there's 76,000. That stadium holds 76,000. He says it does get loud there. But I've been to, I think, the two loudest stadiums I've been in. I've been to, when I was younger, went to Syracuse in the Dome. And, of course, the first nationalship game, I was in Arizona for that. Those were the two those were the two loudest stadiums that I've ever been to. And, you know, the only people that maybe be affected is the freshmen, because the veterans, you know, the sophomores and juniors that were there last year in the Dome, I think they're used to it. And I saw the guys talking about it on the, you know, they were interviewing and asking about it. And they said, you know, the veterans, like I said, the sophomores and the people that's been there, they're used. It's not going to bother their game. They're used to it. And you know, after all the information I've gathered, I don't think it's really going to be a problem.
Okay.
And I agree with everybody. Like I'm saying, it's going to be close. Three quarters. Like I said yesterday, fourth quarter we're going to pull it out. No worries. Y'all have a great day, man. Appreciate you letting me talk, bro.
Hey, there he is, Double O. Great insight, great conversation. It got me thinking. You know, I've never been to the Carrier Dome. Lowell, what have you been to? I know you've been to Dome stadiums. I mean, I've been to Dome stadiums, but the Carrier Dome would be a unique venue to go watch a game in, I would think. Because, you know, it doubles as a basketball arena for Syracuse as well. Clemson's played really, really well against Syracuse up there since they've joined the league. You know, and thinking back to Clemson and Virginia Tech last season, the thing that I think is probably the most concerning about a kid like Josh Jackson is his ability to keep plays alive, is his ability, you know, to utilize his athleticism, much like Gerard Evans. And I kind of wonder if Gerard Evans, minus their other losses, if Evans was back at quarterback for them this year, how would this Virginia Tech team be thought of right now? I mean, they're already thought of as the 12th best team in the country. And again, there's nothing less significant, well, than the polls on September 28th. I guess something less significant were the polls on September 21st, a week ago. Ask any team that lost last week how significant the polls were. But you do kind of wonder, how would Virginia Tech be perceived with a returning starter who had gotten them to an ACC championship game, who had performed as well as they performed against Clemson? I mean, I think that I'm not trying to shift the dynamic to, oh, this would have been a top 5 team right now, because I'm not saying that. 803-978-1832. But what I am saying is, if you're a Hokie fan right now, Hokie High, you got to be excited about VPI and the fact that, hey, they're number 12 in the country with a quarterback that's, I think, shocked a lot of people with just how good he's been. The competition increases significantly. The major advantage that Clemson has coming into this game in Lane Stadium, one, they've been on the road already in a decent environment in Louisville, but they were facing a very well thought of and a highly ranked opponent, and a quarterback that nobody is going to argue is not better than Josh Jackson. On the other side of that coin is you faced an Auburn team with a tremendously talented defense, a fast defense, and you stood the test against them. You faced a very vaunted offense and walked them down. You faced a talented defense and stuffed them. Clemson is the more tested, battled through team, whatever you want to call the Tigers right now. That's what they are versus Virginia Tech. Clemson's been through the wars. They've been through the big battles. Maybe Virginia Tech's more rested, and that could be advantageous for the Hokies late in the fourth quarter. The good news is for Clemson, depth. We talk about Travis Etienne and how many carries is he going to get, how many carries, will he and Tavian Feaster combine for in this game? I don't know, but I think I know this. As much as I'd like to see him get carries early in that game, I bet you 75% of his carries come in the fourth quarter. I bet you he gets that because of the fact Clemson thinks he's a game breaker and a game changer. Hour number 2 of the show coming up right here on Fox Sports Radio. Tommy Bowden, former Clemson Tiger head coach, joins us as he always does at 7 o'clock on the Thursday edition of Clemson Sports Talk.
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
Do you need lodging for your next Tigers game? To get a real game day experience, skip the hotel and stay close to campus in one of Rent Like a Champion's comfortable vacation homes. You can call Rent Like a Champion, a Mark Cuban company featured on ABC's Shark Tank, at 855-BIG-GAME to set up your weekend lodging today.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
Attorney Preston McDaniel has been fighting for the rights of injured South Carolinians in and out of court since 1984.
I'm Attorney Preston McDaniel, and I grew up in rural South Carolina. Every time I look across my desk at an injured worker, I see one of my friends or neighbors. They didn't ask to get hurt, and they don't deserve to be treated like a rented mule by an insurance company. If you or someone you know or care about is injured on the job, help them get a fair shake. Call the McDaniel Law Firm today at 771-7211.
Visit online at pfmcdaniellaw.com.
Attention, anyone who's suffering from lower back pain. Right now, HealthSource is offering our listeners an absolutely free back pain consultation on a first-come, first-served basis by calling 803-218-9047. Our doctors can find the root cause of your lower back pain and show you how to get well fast and stay well longer. No more pain, no more feeling worn out. Essentially, no more not feeling like yourself. Call 803-218-9047.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Major key alert! Don't ever play yourself. Life is like school. You will be tested, so pass it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com.
Stay focused. Now that's a major key alert.
Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
From the E.F. Martin Heating and Air Studios, this is Fox Sports Radio 1400.
WCOS Columbia.
Available anywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app.
Fox Sports Trending now.
There's an NFL game tonight. Chicago at Green Bay, 8:25 Eastern Time. Packers defensive lineman Mike Daniels with a hip injury is called a game-time decision. Randall Cobb officially active. Vikings quarterback Sam Bradford missed another practice today with his sore knee, and he'll be out again Sunday. Case Keenum will start for Minnesota against Detroit. L.A. Chargers running back Melvin Gordon with a bad knee will play Sunday against the Eagles. Browns first-round defensive lineman Myles Garrett returned to practice for the first time in 3 weeks. He'd had a high ankle sprain. With TrueCar, you can find out what other people in your area paid for the same car you're looking for, new or used. Visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Cleveland beat the Twins 5-2 today. That's 100 wins on the season for Cleveland. Minnesota trying to get into the playoffs, up 4-3 bottom of the 8th against the Reds. Brewers 2.5 back of idle Colorado for the last wild card.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set, just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. That's primetime right here on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Lowell, the producer, are you sure you're not confused and mistaken about this? We got into a debate during the break. Now, let me tell you, the only thing he's produced over there for 3 years now, and I use the term 3 years loosely, 2 hours a day, maybe 3 hours a day. When he was in college, like once a month. He's produced a lot of hot air. But you're telling me that I'm wrong, that Tommy Bowden doesn't join us at 7 o'clock on Thursdays?
Coach Tommy Bowden has never been at 7 o'clock. He's always been at 7:20, Swanee.
Ever?
Always.
I don't understand.
Do you not remember last week when he called it 6:20 when Clemson Tom was supposed to come on? And then we pushed Clemson Tom back to 6:32 so that we could have Tommy Bowden. Because remember I told you I texted Tom and asked him if 32 would work for him. Do you not remember that whole thing? Because he was on, Coach Tommy Bowden was on Alabama time, was part of it, and he thought it was, he thought it was a different time. Do you not remember that whole conversation last week?
Yeah, I'm really having some trouble with that right now.
Well, trust me. Tommy Bowden's at 7:20.
Okay, trust you.
Trust me.
Trust you. Well, the people
he will probably call at 7:20, and then that will show you.
Well, that's valid. The people are supposed to trust me, Lowell. And, I told everybody, look, download the SeatGeek app during the break. 2 breaks ago. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't tell them what to do with the SeatGeek app.
Just download it. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I have the SeatGeek app. It's on my phone. And it's by far the easiest way I've ever found to shop for tickets. I can be anywhere. Just a couple of taps, instantly get seats. And, it's not just for sporting events. Your wife wants to go to a concert. Your wife wants to go to the theater, Lowell. You're not married yet, Lowell, are you?
Not that I'm aware of, at least.
That's positive. At least if you get divorced, you won't lose half of your stuff. But with the SeatGeek app, it's designed to make your ticket buying experience easier than ever. Saves you time, money. You can search multiple markets. And it doesn't, again, just end with sports. Comedies. You want to go to a comedy house? Things like that. All of that stuff built in to the SeatGeek app. Here's what you got to do. Download the SeatGeek app. Use our promo code TIGERS. TIGERS. And best of all, my listeners get 20% off their SeatGeek purchase. That's the promo code TIGERS to get $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. SeatGeek, right seat right now, right from your phone. And you know what I love about SeatGeek? They're also with our good friend, Colin Cowherd. And by good friend, I mean the guy that comes on the radio before us. And we appreciate Colin. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. Again, the injury report, an article on Cleveland Farrell, all of that over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. You can text us thanks to our friends at the Ocean Reef Resort in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The text line 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086. Talking Donkey hits us up via the Ocean Reef Resort text line and says, listening to the podcast yesterday, I wonder if the heat from the FBI versus the NCAA basketball will affect Zion's recruitment to Kentucky. This might help Clemson if shady money people at Kentucky get a little gun shy in the current climate. He goes on to say, is what happened at Ole Miss similar, comparable to what might happen at Carolina? No history, no real blue-chip talent. At Ole Miss, they have 5 stars and 10 wins. South Carolina, no history, and a Final Four appearance. I will say this to the Talking Donkey. South Carolina basketball, it does have some history. It's not recent history. As a matter of fact, in my life, and I am 40, until March of this year, they had never won an NCAA tournament game. So I don't know how comparable those two things actually are. But I do believe that a situation like with Kentucky and other big programs that are recruiting a guy like Zion Williamson, there may be something that comes out. And I'm not trying to throw Zion under the bus. I don't know that Zion would even entertain these things. And I think maybe that might be one of the reasons that Clemson's still kind of there. I mean, I still believe, and call me naive, but I still believe that goodness and honor and dignity went out. It went out 100% of the time. Now, do I know Zion Williamson personally? I don't. Do I know his family or his mom or the people that, direct him and steer him and his AAU coach and all those people? I don't know them from Adam. But I like to believe that doing the right thing benefits you in the long run. Doing the right thing is all you have to do in order to be successful in life. You don't have to cheat or be a dirty businessman or rip people off. I think if you're honest and forthright and do things the right way, prosperity will come back to you tenfold. And when you do things the wrong way, even though there is short-term success, Rick Pitino, once it all comes out, there is long-term shame. And I think in a lot of respects, that's where some of these coaches are right now. They sold out to win basketball games. And they sold out because winning basketball games meant that they would be financially successful and they would be seen as the best and brightest in their field. But I believe the real winners are those people who have done it the right way and maybe have always come up short and have been dealt losses and defeats at the hands of teams that were cheating. Even though they had to face that mirror the next morning with an L, they faced it with honor and dignity and things that money and success can't buy you. 803-978-1832. I think we'll hit up one or two more texts that came in. Again, the text line 803-450-0086. Tiger Chris says Zion Williamson is on an Adidas AAU team. Will this cause Clemson to back off of recruiting him? It's not about, in my opinion, again, Chris, and this kind of goes back to what I was just saying, I don't think it's about who you're playing with in terms of the teams you're on. I think it's about what do you say when people propose money as an option for your commitment. do you have the dignity to go, not interested? Thanks, but no thanks. Because that's what you have to hope any young man that you're recruiting does.
Here's part of the problem, though. A lot of these kids, a lot of the really, really good athletes come from areas and families that are not well off. And so when you are a 18-year-old kid who has never had money before and someone dangles $150,000 in front of your face, I can't blame the kid for taking it. That's on the full-grown adults who are trying to secure commitments from 18-year-olds. And it's, I just have a hard time blaming the kid for taking the money, because if you're coming from a poor family.
I don't care. I blame the kid for taking the money. Absolutely. I feel bad for the kid whose parents take the money, because the kids, I don't care. Listen, I'm not raising my 8-year-old son to go, oh, well, you know what? Just because maybe you don't have money or things you need, to just take what's easy, especially when you're a year out from being a multimillionaire in the NBA. It's for me, the education will always outweigh the financial benefits. All of that.
I don't disagree with that point. My point is, if someone comes up with a briefcase full of money and opens it and $150,000 is in it, and you've never seen anything like that in your life, that's hard to say no to when you're coming from a poor family. A lot of these are broken homes. We're probably going to disagree on this subject.
Well, I mean, I do not like the individual that puts the money in front of the kid, but I also do not say, well, just because somebody put the money out there, the kid has the right to go rogue too. That it's okay for him to break the rules, because I'm a rule follower by nature. And if I know that I could jeopardize my eligibility for 1 year, because let's face it, the guys that are getting briefcases of 150 GER put in front of them, it's the big boys. It's not the little average nobody recruits. And those big boys, I don't know what the numbers are, Lowell, but I bet you it's 90% or 85% make it to the NBA and get a fairly decent contract.
Well, and here's the other thing, though. These guys are going to go to camps. With other big time players. Right. They're going to hang around other big time players. They're likely going to see and talk to other big time players who are probably going to tell them about offers that they may or may not have had, which sort of normalizes it in a way. And so when you see all these other guys getting offers, look, I'm always going to put it on the guys who come out and put the money in front of the kids. I'm always going to put the blame on them, because I just have a really tough time blaming a guy who has never had any kind of financial help before.
Let me ask you something. If Deshaun Watson took $100,000 before he came to Clemson and the Tigers had to forfeit the national championship, you're telling me you go, well, he'd never seen $100,000 before. I guess it's okay he took it.
I would be extremely disappointed in the coaching staff or whoever put the money in front of Deshaun Watson.
We're talking about, with this situation, the shoe companies basically shuffling the money to these guys through coaches.
Yeah, and it's on them for being shady. It's on the shoe companies, and it's on the AAU
but you have no blame for Watson whatsoever if he did it.
No.
None. You go, it's just a kid. He took the money. He's stupid.
It's such a complex situation. You really have to dive in and consider the backgrounds of these guys.
So if Deshaun Watson's walking down the street and there's a bank and there's a briefcase with $25,000 just sitting there that fell out in the back of a truck when it pulled off, in your eyes, you know what? He hadn't had money. It's okay to pick it up and take it home.
No, that's stealing, and you'll get in serious trouble for that. But it's not being handed a check for $150,000 by a big corporate employee.
Even though you know it's against the rules.
It's manipulative on the part of Adidas or Nike and the coaches. It's taking advantage of a kid who has never had money before, and they know this is the reason they do it. They know that it's going to be very hard for them to turn down the money because they have never had any type of money before. And so it's manipulative on their part because they show up and go, or they talk to each other and go, look, there's no way this kid's turning down the money. He's cold broke. In Deshaun Watson's case, hey, his mom had cancer. They probably need money for medical bills. Let's go dangle $200,000 in front of them and see what happens.
Well, I can assure you, if anything like that were to come out, I would also be putting the blame on the kid who made the choice, because that's ultimately the person who put everything on the line and put everything into jeopardy. If their parents took it behind their backs, I can't do anything about that. I can't do anything if your parents are not good people.
If you were 18 years old, go back to 18-year-old Swanee, and someone handed you a briefcase for $150,000, you would say, no, thank you. I don't want $150,000.
If I knew that it would potentially put in jeopardy my reputation collegiately and what I was trying to do to where I was trying to go, absolutely, I'd say no. Because the benefit is not of the $150,000. It's, Mom, Dad, let's get through another year, and I'm going to be making $25 million, and I'm not going to have a soiled resume. Because for me, my reputation is worth more than the money. So for some people, that might not be the case. For me, it is. My reputation is the most valuable thing I have. There are two things I can't get back: my reputation and the time I have on this earth. And those two things will never be taken for granted. And that's just who I am. Now, again, I was raised by a different family. I was raised in a family where we had food. We weren't fighting to survive. But if I knew, even if I was a 5-star freakazoid and I was the best thing since sliced bread in terms of college sports, and my parents were multi-millionaires, or whether they were dirt poor, that doesn't change who I become the day that I decide that I'm going to take the money from these individuals. I'm not telling you that the kids weren't manipulated into it, but the decision to choose to do it, it's habit number one. That's proactive. That's you. You make the decision. It doesn't matter what other outside. If you let outside influencers influence and change who you are as an individual, then you are not going to achieve the goals that you want. People who do that, you're talking about the guy that signs the $25 million contract and then blows it at bars and on bars and cars and all kind of stuff that you don't need. I understand it's a difficult thing for these kids to say no. But ultimately, the minute that kid says yes, they are, in my eyes, to blame. They are equal and they are complicit in the action.
If we're talking about something like, do you remember the movie Blue Chips?
I have seen it a time or two.
Where the guy from Indiana walks into the coach's office and goes, hey, guys, I'm going to need $500,000. That's where I agree with you. If the kid is soliciting the money, yeah, that's on the kid. I have a really tough time blaming a guy who did nothing, did not seek out these guys. He's being surrounded by coyotes, what I think was the word that was used, who are just throwing money in front of him.
Tar Hizzle, we got about 45 seconds. We got Tommy Bowden coming up. Tar Hizzle, what's up?
Man, I'm just going to say this. First and foremost, these kids are, and you make a perfect analogy with Blue Chips. When Badeau was offered the Lexus, he didn't take it. It's called integrity. It's called doing the right thing. And at the end of the day, these kids weren't throwing a bag of money in front of their face. Heck, the kid down at Miami, they were talking on the phone that got tapped. And he said it's going to take more than $100,000 to get him. And if you push it one more year, he wants $200,000. That's the kid telling the school what it's going to take for him to go to the University of Miami. At the end of the day, these kids in this generation are greedy. They expect it. They think they deserve it. And these shoe companies were paying them, and they were getting the coaches to help them pay them. And I think this thing's going to go so deep There's going to be a ton of things crumble with this, but this is pure greed from the athlete, and I need to be paid. And my $80,000 a year you spend on my scholarship and all the clothes you give me ain't enough.
Hey, listen, we got to hit it, man. We'll be right back with Tommy Bowden.
Our sold-out 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival. 2 nights, 1 stage, over 20 of the biggest artists on the planet. Celebrated with iHeartRadio fans from around the world for music's holy grail. Our sold-out 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Coldplay, Pink, DJ Khaled, Thomas Rhett, The Weeknd, and more. iHeartRadio. Catch our iHeartRadio Music Festival TV special Wednesday and Thursday night, October 4th and 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on the CW.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." I was like, "What makes you say that, son?" He said, "When I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com. Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan. With quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
Stay on top of today's pop culture. Ace and TJ Mornings and today's hit music all day on 104.7 WNOK.
Shaking the Southland weeknights, Clemson Sports Talk, 6 to 8 p.m. Fox Sports Radio in the Midlands and in the Grand Strand, Myrtle Beach, and Conway now a part of the show that shakes the Southland. Former Clemson Tiger head coach Tommy Bowden joins us here each and every week to preview Clemson's upcoming matchup. But before we talk a little college football, Coach, I want to ask you this. As a former college football coach and being around the game, with the news that broke about college basketball and the circle of influence around so many players, do you get concerned that something like this could or would eventually spill over into college football?
You know, it's a little bit different in college football, and now it's getting that way. You know, the traveling basketball teams, amateur coaches,
sure,
all that been going on for years. And in order to recruit a basketball player, you had to go through the amateur coach. And Adidas got involved with sponsoring the camps, Nike. That's been going on for a long time. So that's kind of what it's culminated. Now, these 7-on-7 passing leagues is kind of on just the initial stages starting off like that. So I think college football needs to be careful in that regard. But it's not the 7-on-7 camps are not to the stage that those amateur basketball leagues are, and the basketball coaches and the sponsors by Nike and Adidas and all those other ones. So it hasn't gotten to that magnitude. So I don't think those kind of problems have crept into college football. But you kind of see what happened when they are allowed to kind of be have a lot of freedom.
TommyBowden.com is his website, and he joins us each and every week. And Coach Bowden, looking back at Clemson's matchup against Boston College, I know you've been a part of games where your team, you look at them, you go, man, they're kind of sleepwalking here, and then they come alive and they find a way to escape. Is that what Coach Sweeney was dealing with through 3 quarters in Tigertown?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. I don't care how much you talk to your team, and then your coach is only with them so long. And he's out there with them before practice and after practice, and maybe a team meeting before they go on the field. But for 24 hours, 24/7, 7 days a week, they were reading the newspaper and the telemedia and the tweeting and the Facebook and all the other kinds of media that they have nowadays, how bad they're going to beat Boston College. They've looked at the film. They've seen them not very talented. They've seen them not very good. But you still have to go out and play. And then, of course, Clemson being the position they're in, they're going. Clemson's everybody's bowl game. Anybody wants to be recognized nationally, you can automatically jump on stage if you beat Clemson. So everybody brings their best shot. And Deshaun Watson and Boulware, they're not there now, so they have to look for some new leadership to help them through those stages. A coach can only do so much, but Clemson right now is good enough where they can sleepwalk for 3 quarters and talented enough that all of a sudden they jump on them. You got a great defense, and the other team can't score. You've always got a chance to win.
Coach Tommy Bowden here on Clemson Sports Talk. Coach, in terms of transitioning from Frank Beamer to Justin Fuente, I mean, and you've been right there with the situation with your dad at Florida State to Jimbo. Wasn't as smooth as I think people would have liked a transition like that to be. But it sure looks, man, when you look at Blacksburg, like it was just a seamless transition for these guys. And maybe you can speak a little bit about one, Beamer, Fuente, and the relationship that two individuals may have to have in order for something like that to work.
Well, those were solid transitions. Both those teams, Florida State and Virginia Tech, went to bowl games before both those Jimbo and Justin Fuentes took over the program. They weren't, I took a Tulane team that's come off a 3-win season and a Clemson team that's coming off a 3-win season. And then I think the first 3 years at Clemson, we had one guy drafted. Florida State and Virginia Tech were a little bit more stable positions as far as the amount of talent available and how far the program had dropped. So I think the biggest, Florida State was known for offense with my father, known for offense under Jimbo. I think the biggest transition you look at Virginia Tech is Virginia Tech under Frank Beamer, tremendous success, defense, special teams, offense, don't mess it up. Play for field position, let's let the special teams make something happen. Justin Fuentes comes in there and says, hey, let's throw a little more priority on this offense. So I think that's the biggest difference from all those scenarios that you mentioned is an offensive and defense of an offensive philosophy that's a little bit more radical and different than what under the Frank Beamer era.
What does it say about Bud Foster that in this transition he was willing to stay on and be a part of that, knowing that he had interest in that job at the top there at Virginia Tech, but just in terms of understanding and recognizing maybe the future was in Fuente there. What does that say about Bud Foster, and what's your relationship with him?
I always had great respect for him, and I always told him before the game I wish I could have paid him enough to leave because they always beat us. But he just, I think, one of the top 5 defensive coordinators in the country. But I think what it says a lot about Bud Foster, it says a lot about his character and his reputation and his track record. Like he's got a great track record as a football coach, but again, when a new head coach comes in like Justin Fuentes, and one of the other coaches have interviewed for the job, there's a tendency to let those guys go. A lot of times when you hire an ex-head coach, one of the things they're interested in is your job, and you have to be careful about that kind of staff morale and integrity from your staff. But Bud Foster has not only a good coach, but he's got a great reputation as a character person. And you can see how smooth that transition, just how smooth the transition was. Plus, it also shows a lot of confidence by Justin Fuentes not to be intimidated by a guy like Bud Foster. I think that shows a lot about both of those guys.
Tommy Bowden joins us each and every Thursday here on Fox Sports Radio at 7:20. And Coach, we'll get one final question for you, and we'll get you out of here. I know you do a tremendous job for the ACC Network. What have you seen offensively from Virginia Tech? I know their competition level hadn't been superb this year outside of maybe that matchup to open the season against West Virginia, but what have you seen from Virginia Tech on film that makes you say, hey, you know what, Clemson, they better be careful because these guys might hurt them?
Well, again, defense, I always said that it never got to that stage, but defense wins championships. And I never got to that where that proved true. But if you look at Clemson and Virginia Tech, I think Clemson is third in the nation in scoring defense, 9 points. Virginia Tech's ninth with 10 points a game. Virginia Tech, I think, sixth in the nation, third down conversion defense. Clemson is 21st. win championships on defense. So I think that's going to be the key. Now, who's the more talented team? It's going to be Clemson. So I think that is something to keep an eye on. Obviously the strength of those two defenses. But watch Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson, the quarterback at Virginia Tech, is a younger Kelly Bryant. Physically, the running ability. Josh Jackson right now is a freshman, leads the ACC in passing efficiency. I think Kelly Bryant might be 8th or 9th. So Virginia Tech does not have a runner in the top 10. They've been a Frank Beamer run, action, pass, physical play, run it. We can't get it. Let's punt it down there and let the defense, let Bud Foster take care of them on defense or make something happen in special teams. So I think Clemson can run the ball a little bit better. So, I look for a slight advantage for Clemson in the running game and defense. But I think those are the two things that are really going to have the most impact on this game. Two quarterbacks, both are very talented, both very similar. Clemson's ability to run the ball a little bit better, and then Clemson a bit better on defense. But you got to play the game, and you're playing in Blacksburg on a Saturday night. Will be in an electric environment.
There he is on Twitter at Tommy_Bowden. Coach, we'll look forward to talking to you next week. Thanks for your time.
Have a good week. Thank you.
Man, what a great segment again with Coach Tommy Bowden. Boy, he crushes those things, doesn't he? I tell you, one day I'm going to pull this off, that I'm sitting down on the couch with Tommy Bowden watching a college football game. One day, he's got to get out of the ACC network business first. He's going to have to give that up because he's so busy. Problem solved. My parents used to say, "Don't invite yourself over." You remember that old rule of don't invite yourself over. I think I'm going to try to invite myself over to the ACC networks and hang out with him on a Saturday.
Or we could just have an ACC network Clemson Sports Talk merger.
They could fall under our brand.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we're the monstrosity in the room right now in terms of media outlets in America. We may take Fox News and CNN and put them under us, under the umbrella. Just let them fight it out in our backyard. We're back here with the College Sports Corner, brought to you by our good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac in Orangeburg, when we return.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Swim in their sparkling indoor and outdoor pools, relax in their hot tubs, try out the Adventure Oasis pool with adult-sized water slide, or just float down the 250-foot lazy river. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat & Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat & Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Lawton Swan here, and I know in sports we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
Tonight's going to be a warm one. It'll stay clear, and the temperatures will eventually drop down to around 70. Tomorrow, cooler. Afternoon highs in the mid-80s with plenty of sunshine. For Channel 25 ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by VisitMyrtleBeach.com.
Missing summer already? Our sunny skies, tranquil ocean waters, and beautiful stress-free beaches stretch well into the fall. Come visit, let go, and unwind, and enjoy 60 more days of summer. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com to plan your getaway.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show now at 978-1832 or text 803-450-0086.
I was trying to get it how I live. I want them dead presidents. I want to pull up, head spin, get it, get fly. I got 6 jobs. I don't get tired. I don't get tired. I don't get tired.
I don't get tired during the week. I get tired on the weekend. Specifically after a late night watching college football, I will snooze out until Sunday, try to recuperate for the week that is. Again, Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio in the Midlands on 1400 AM, iHeart Radio app. You can listen there simply by saying to your Amazon Echo or Google Home, listen to Fox Sports Radio 1400. Over in Myrtle Beach, Fox Sports Radio 101.9 and 1050 AM. Glad to be in the Grand Strand, Conway area. All the Tigers, Gamecocks, Bulldogs, Yellow Jackets, Seminoles looking for a place to hang out in the evenings. We'll give it to you here. Our good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, though, in Orangeburg, will give you a great deal on a car. If you want to head down there from Columbia, I guess we may have to change this up a little bit because you got to come a different way if you're coming from Myrtle Beach. But it's exit 145A, just south of here in Columbia. It is my favorite segment of the week. It is the College Sports Corner.
Clemson Sports Talk presents the College Sports Corner, brought to you by Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. Just a short drive down I-26 at exit 145A in Orangeburg. Now, CST reporter Lawton Swan.
We talk about a lot of topics. We talk a lot of Clemson Tigers here and major college sports topics, but during the College Sports Corner, our trusty producer, former intern Lowell, has topics in a hermetically sealed, or actually multiple hermetically sealed envelopes. Yes. I do not know the contents in which are in these envelopes. Yes.
Of course.
He dishes them. I talk about them. Sometimes I know them. Sometimes I don't. All right, Lowell, topic number 1 tonight in the College Sports Corner.
Well, topic number 1 is about Tim Tebow, who I have said in the past that, I've made the argument that he is the greatest quarterback in college football history, and I think it's a fair argument to make based on his accomplishments. Well, he can add another accomplishment to his list because he's returned to Florida, and he will be inducted into the Florida Sports Hall of Fame as part of a star-studded 2017 class. He'll be joined by Florida native Chipper Jones, Atlanta Braves great, PGA Tour Commissioner Tim Fincham, and ex-Florida State running back Work Dunn.
I do have a question.
Yes.
This is not the Florida Athletic Hall of Fame like the school, University of Florida.
No.
And you claimed that he's the best college quarterback in the history of college quarterbacks.
I think there's a fair argument to be made about that.
I would suggest to you that if he were getting into the University of Florida Hall of Fame, which he may or may not already be in, I'm not sure.
I'm sure he is.
That Steve Spurrier would probably hit him with a chair shot or a crowbar below the knee to make sure that your prophecy of him being the greatest quarterback of all time did not get past Steve Spurrier at Florida. By the way, learn this. I'm listening to Spurrier's autobiography. Did you know he was the first player to ever get 2 Heisman trophies? Like, physically, one that he gave the school, and then they wrote a letter to the Touchdown Club, and the Touchdown Club allowed him to get one that he got to keep for himself. He was the first person to ever do that, to get one for the school and one for himself, a tradition that continues.
Interesting.
Yes. I could tell you a lot more about Steve Spurrier.
I'm sure you could.
Do you know when he went to his first football game?
I have no idea.
November 5th, 1955. Do you know the significance of that moment?
I do not.
That was the day Marty McFly went back in time in the movie Back to the Future.
Well, thank you, Sam Blackman.
Oh, I hope Sam's not listening because, Sam, you're the man. All right. our Way Back Wednesdays with Sam Blackman are great. Lowell, you know what? You may have we add a new market, and Lowell just comes with the heater. All right. What else you got for us? Topic 2.
We're going to stay in Florida as Florida defensive lineman Jordan Smith is facing 4 more felony charges. According to court records, the Gainesville Police Department filed 4 sworn complaints against Smith on Wednesday. Police say Smith used the credit card of a Virginia man to pay $1,007.82 for his Gainesville apartment. He faces 2 fraud charges and 2 grand theft larceny charges.
This doesn't seem like it's going to end well for these guys at Florida right now, does it?
These are a lot of felonies being thrown out there.
Lots of felonies being thrown out there. Yeah, I don't have a lot to add to that, to be honest with you. Again, it comes back to your moral integrity and making the right decision. It's easy to take the free money, or you can just bust your rear end and do what's right. Next topic. Topic 3.
Parker Boudreaux, who initially signed with Notre Dame but then transferred to UCF.
You know, I heard that the name Boudreaux is French for can pull a bus.
Is that true?
No, but remember his recruiting video where he pulled that bus?
Oh, wow. You had me going for a second.
To reveal a Notre Dame logo.
I do remember that now that you say it.
Yeah.
That's why I know his name so much.
The Clemson recruit, right.
Well, he had applied for the NCAA family hardship waiver so he could play immediately at UCF, but after 3 months, the NCAA finally decided Boudreaux would have to sit this season, according to his mother, who revealed the decision via her Twitter account.
I want to say, if I remember correctly, and you might could do a little research, Parker Boudreaux had one of those fathers, I think, that was a big influencer around him, and maybe not in a healthy way. I think Jake Fruh-Morgan also had something a little bit similar to that going on with him. You know, the parent that may believe their kid's a little bit better than their kid may actually be. Not saying that those two guys are bad football players.
Well, there's a lot of those out there with these star athletes.
Well, yeah. You're right about that. All right, do we have a final topic here in the College Sports Corner tonight?
We do. Urban Meyer has some strong words for coaches who are cheating in college basketball. He said, I always believed if you willfully and intentionally broke the rule or you lied to the NCAA, you can never coach again. To this day, I still believe that. I'm not talking about mistakes made when you have a rule book like this, and then evidently he held up a very thick rule book.
Oh, did he hold up the college football?
But if you intentionally pay a guy money or willfully have a second cell phone to make illegal phone calls, you're done. You can never coach again. He said, I'm in favor of regulation. I'm in favor of strong law enforcement and making people obey the rules in our profession. I don't know the whole story behind it. I don't have time, but I know one thing. When you start hearing federal, when someone asks you a question and you lie, you're going to jail. I'm anxious to watch what happens.
Here's something else about this whole thing.
Which, by the way, what he said about if you are doing this willfully, this kind of stuff, I don't disagree about banning those guys.
Can I make a proposal? Should the NCAA create a one strike and you're out rule? If you're a coach and you cheat, you're done. You can go coach in the NBA or you can go coach in high school, but I'll tell you where you're not coaching anymore. Collegiately. Good luck. Maybe that's the real kicker. I mean, we get on schools about 3 strikes and you're out for these guys, and a lot of times I've been like, look, man, just make it 1 strike. Make it 1 strike. Why do we excuse two mistakes?
I'll tell you this, and he actually said this too. I didn't get to it, but if a student athlete lies to the NCAA, they're done. So why do the coaches get more of a chance than they do?
There we go. Final segment of Clemson Sports Talk tonight, coming up in 3 minutes here on Fox Sports Radio. Stay with us.
Our sold-out 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival. 2 nights,
one stage. Over 20 of the biggest artists on the planet. Celebrated with iHeart Radio fans from around the world for music's holy grail. Our sold-out 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival. Coldplay, Pink, DJ Khaled, Thomas Rhett, The Weeknd, and more.
iHeart Radio.
Catch our iHeartRadio Music Festival TV special Wednesday and Thursday night, October 4th and 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on the CW.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Have you been thinking about sprucing up your yard, debating between pine straw or mulch? Call my friends at Carolina Turfgrass to get your yard looking as great as mine right now. I chose to go with pine straw this year, and it looks incredible. Carolina Turfgrass is conveniently located at 5400 Augusta Road in Lexington, and if you need your order delivered, they can take care of that too. In addition, Carolina Turfgrass carries a wide variety of turfs, including Centipede and Bermuda. For unmatched quality and service, call Carolina Turfgrass, 446-6525. Look for Carolina Turfgrass on Highway 1 in Lexington.
Cottingham Family Dentistry is proud to announce the opening of their new office located at 3722 Devon Street, and they're welcoming new patients. What makes Cottingham Family Dentistry different? It's in the name, family. They will cater to your needs and the dental needs of your children. Cottingham Family Dentistry offers same-day crowns, dental implants, cosmetic dentistry, including whitening, veneers, and tooth-colored fillings, and many other dental services. If you're searching for an amazing dental home, call 776-4234 or stop by their new office at 3722 Devon Street and become a part of the family at Cottingham Family Dentistry.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules. Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Weeknight, 6 to 8 p.m., shaking the Southland and shaking it in multiple markets now here. Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, Fox Sports Radio 1019 and 1050 a.m. Myrtle Beach, Conway. Glad to be on with you all, and we'll be here each and every evening, Monday through Friday, that is, from 6 to 8 p.m. Podcast editions of the show are available. You listen when you want to listen. You say, man, you know what? I wish I could have heard more of that show. You can hear the whole show in just a little bit. Thanks to Lowell. Lowell, I'm giving you props. Lowell cuts it up. He puts it over there. You can listen on Amazon Echo, Google Home, iPhone, Android. And if you have any questions, I'm going to give you the direct way to get in touch with me. Lawton, Lawton, at ClemsonSportsTalk.com. G Tiger hits us up. Lawton, I just want to thank you for the hard work you and Lowell have done to continue to promote Clemson Tiger athletics here and now in the Myrtle Beach area. Keep it going. Thank you, G Tiger. Listen, I want to encourage you to come be a part of our new forums and our new website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com. The forums thing is the biggest hurdle right now. I mean, we've got articles that are getting nearly 10,000 views. We're getting 350 shares on Facebook. That's not the monster in the room. What I need the monster in the room to be for you, the listener of this show, is just come participate. And again, just like this show, it's a family-friendly program, and it's a family-friendly website. I've always told you here, I will not make this a show that my son, who is 8, or my daughter, who is 5, can't listen to. That means if you turn on Sports Talk Radio sometimes and then you have to turn it off because of the host, because they say something that you wouldn't say in front of your kids, don't worry, not with this show. Our guests might occasionally, our callers might occasionally, but in terms of the host, don't worry. You can buckle up with me for 2 hours on a drive and know that I'm going to give you high-quality content. It's going to be fast-paced, action-packed. It's going to be clean and ready to go. And that's why we've got listeners like Tar Hizzle, who is a North Carolina fan who tunes in, O-Line, a Gamecock fan that calls, and then, of course, the resident Florida expert here on Clemson Sports Talk, Hollywood. Hollywood, how you doing, man?
How's it going, Lawton? You know, it's getting to the point. I want to win. Jim McElwain going to pull the plug on these guys. I mean, it's really beginning to sit down a little bit. They've been going almost half of the season, and I mean, it's just so much stuff just going on with these guys. I mean, we just got to move on. It's time to move on.
I agree with that.
I mean, I hate to say it. I love the Gators. I mean, I love the Gators. Everybody know I love Florida Gators. And the bottom line is, it's just too much going on. We got the youngest team that Florida had in a while. We got a really young football team, and I think we're doing good things. I mean, we just got to get the offensive kicking, defense is there, and I'm just trying to move on. I think it's been a distraction now to the ball players. Probably one of the reasons why they're playing that way. It's time to move on.
I appreciate it, Hollywood. I agree. I think when you're a coach like Jim McElwain, I think when you are in a role like that, you set the standard. And if you're going to let these guys linger, given – oh, boy, here I go back into it. This is where – okay, so this is where my American citizenship gets in the way of my radio show, sports talk enthusiast, just clear the bad out of your program. I believe in innocent until proven guilty in court, too. I just do. But you know what? A coach like McElwain has every right to hold these guys to a bigger standard. You know what standard he has the right to hold these players to? That our country, unfortunately, well, I'm not going to say unfortunately, but fortunately our country, you can't just convict people because somebody accused them of something. But you know what standard Jim McElwain can hold his players to? Don't get arrested. Don't get arrested for being a bozo and doing something dumb. Don't put your college career in jeopardy by making a mistake like that. If these guys got in a fight at a bar with other college kids and it appeared that there was, this thing was started by the other group or whatever, these guys aren't going to be suspended. They'd be playing right now. They would have been arrested, they would have run some wind sprints, and they would be playing right now. But when you start talking about defrauding credit cards and doing things like that, I can't remember the kid's name. He was a defensive player a couple of years ago at Clemson. I think he was going to be a pretty good one. Ebenezer Akambalo, Ebenezer something. Look up Ebenezer defensive. Well, and he was
Ebenezer. Was it Ogundo?
Just
something like that.
Put it in your Google machine. Credit card in Clemson. Don't make me do the work.
I know the name.
Well, this is not time for can I figure it out like it's 1920s when you go. I just can't.
Ebenezer Ogundeko.
That's what I said the first time.
Yeah,
I did say that. Run the podcast. I said Ebenezer Ogundeko. I did.
I thought you were going Akambalo for a minute.
No. although he could have played tight end.
That's where it kind of sounded like you were headed.
I wonder what happened to Ebo. I know what happened with him at Clemson. He was trying to defraud credit cards and had a little machine that made the little cards. And guess where he's not? And what Dabo Swinney did, got rid of him in a hurry.
He is at.
He should be done playing college.
Tennessee State.
Is he done?
Nope. He's played this year.
Is he 35 yet? How old is he?
I have no idea. He's 21.
All right, so Ebenezer Ogundeko, and I did nail it. When we go back and play that, I can't wait for you to go back and play that. I nailed it, man.
All I heard was you say Akin, and I kept thinking Akin Akambala.
Akin Akambala.
What a great name that was. And Olu Babalola.
Oh, you know what that one always reminded me of? There's that song that was like, Olu Babalola. You know that? Do you know that old song?
I don't.
Be-bop-a-lola.
But I'm really glad you're singing it.
Well, that's one of my talents. Oh,
the people in Myrtle Beach will find out.
They will. You know, the bad news for anybody that hears me sing is the fact that the good Lord gave me good looks. I mean, there were two choices. I remember the day he was putting me together. He said, Swanee, do you want good looks or a singing voice? I said, give me the good looks, sir. There you have it.
I think he fleeced you.
Bebop-a-lola, Alu-bop-a-lola. What a name. Alu-Babalola.
And Akambala and Babalola played on the same team, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, that was some great years for names.
Akambala to Babalola for 3. Remember, Alu Babalola was the guy that hit the three-pointer that eventually left
against Virginia Tech back in 2005, senior night.
Virginia Tech fans peeking over the fence tonight are shuddering right now thinking about Sherrod Ford coming down the field like a big old giraffe with a dunk to end the game.
It was Babalola for 3. Shawan Robinson with the steal.
Former guest of the show, Shawan Robinson.
Ahead to Ford, who dunks at the buzzer.
All right, Lowell, have you looked at the results of our show question poll over on social media? Do not look. I know the results. Show question poll. Earlier tonight, I asked the question, could Dexter Lawrence have been a college football one and done? Lowell, I want your percentage. What percentage do you think said, yes, he could have been a college one and done? The poll's not over, but where do we sit as we head off the airwaves tonight?
97% say yes.
No, not quite. 64.
Really?
64%, yeah, right now of 130 some odd votes in the past hour and a half say that he would have been could have been a college one and done.
Can I vote yes and skew the results?
You could. And you can vote yes as well on Twitter at Clemson Sports. Again, we are #verified. Lowell is not verified.
That's shocking. Only 64%.
Well, the people speak, Lowell. And they'll get to speak tomorrow, and we'll speak with you tomorrow as well, right here on Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, and our new home in the Grand Strand on Fox Sports Radio 101.9 at 1050 a.m. Until then, as always, y'all take care now. And go Tigers!
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything